Hello, everyone. Really great to see all of you live. Yeah, nothing beats the live experience, I know. And it was important to continue the Beyond Meditation series in terms of what we had begun. So today's session is more of an anchoring session. And in our anchoring, we also invoke. We are anchoring ourselves on the other side of the Lion's Gate, which was 8-8. Like I shared, it was a very, very powerful day, and it could have showed up on in extreme ways for people. Nonetheless, it was actually a very powerful, either a completion or literally taking off your shields and your resurgence. Either way, you're onto a really great, powerful trajectory as we move forward. And from the divine plan perspective, um, it is it is a path of light that is being created for this next stretch of evolution of our planet. When something like this occurs, where there is so much light that is being shone on the path of how the planet is evolving, and clearly, when the planet evolves, so do all living things that habitate this planet also evolve. And as living things evolve, then the non-living or inanimate objects or things also have their own level of invention and innovation that starts to get in. So as when that occurs, when initially a lot of darkness is thrown out, the key thing to remember is it's like we've all got like the duck's back, if you like, where water can go onto the duck's back and it just slides through, because the duck's back has got these glands on it, which in fact, any of these sea birds that are in the water, they have these glands on their bodies and on their feathers that the water doesn't get absorbed by them. It just slides off. So it is literally like when the darkness does show up and leaves, you can step away and observe it, and it will slide out faster than it even came in. There is a habit, though. We have developed a habit of getting drawn into it. And you will notice, even if you do get drawn into it, there will be mental engagement. It won't necessarily cause internal anguish. And you may want to feel that internal anguish, which actually will start getting you to feel exhausted, because you won't feel that. You'll be working towards it, you won't actually feel it, so you could get exhausted. Not everybody's going to react that way. I'm just saying, if you do, then and you're starting to get exhausted, that's what is occurring. If you actually, in fact, stand back and observe, it will be like water off a duck's back. It does not drown the duck. It doesn't even increase its buoyancy. It does nothing. It just slides away. So darkness and lower energies actually never really did have the power that we gave them. We absorbed it. And what happens when you do that, it becomes like a magnet. And it just literally starts to concentrate any lower forms of energy that may be there anywhere in our field. But when you actually step back and observe and it slides away, which is what the situation is now, then, and even before, you could have just observed it and it wouldn't have slid away that easily, but it would still have dissipated. It wouldn't have impacted you so much. And I know that some of you did do that. We have a greater opportunity for releasing any negativity that may even show up in our field. If you're living from source, that's brilliant. If you're working with your sergeant majors, as the miracle journeyers, I know several of you are here, you could literally use every such opportunity to glide higher and higher towards what you are here to cause and make happen. There's a level of clarity that this Lion's Gate has brought. And with that clarity comes amplification. Now, When clarity comes, then it is up to you to literally step into flow. Not everybody is able to achieve that because we go into, oh, but we have to. We can't just walk away from this, or we must. I'll be seen to be very odd, or how can I just write off everything that I've invested in this? Or I've become, everybody knows I'm so vested in this approach. How can I just suddenly turn and do something else? So those sort of things, come in the way of you being able to leverage what became available here. It's become available, so there may be a delay. As long as you do take that step forward, you'll find it harder and harder to stay put in one place in terms of a full spectrum, perspective. Staying put even physically in one place, there will be a need, there will be like an innate desire to want to move more. I mean, I'm noticing in myself, movement itself was something. And now I'm like, I've got yoga happening. I've got a swimming instructor who comes in the morning. And I'm like really prioritizing all of this. And I, try and fit in a walk as well. It's very hot here. And still I fit in a walk somehow. And I can tell, I must have walked maybe 7,000 steps. It doesn't feel enough. I have to say, I have never felt that. But there's just a movement that is called for. If you are burdened, that movement will feel burdensome. And then you may get burdened even more with whatever aches and pains that you might experience. So the thing is, we can just give ourselves over to our aches, pains, distresses, and whatever other spinning dialogues that are occurring, or we can choose to sit back and say, I'm feeling that right now. Nothing to do. Observe, acknowledge, and it goes away. It dissipates. Talk about lightness of being. Not only is this an era of light, it really is an era of lightness. And it is a lightness of being. As a human, if you don't add any meaning to it, you leave it just purely as being, you'll be love. And you could make that being love, you could spice it up a bit by choosing your B words. Which means if I say I'm going to be magical, where I know for me, magical is a state where I'm, beaming big, beaming smiles and receiving those in return and swallowing them, and every cell in my body is smiling. That's what being magical is for me. So magical gets added to being love. And what is being love? It is a frequency. It is an amplifying frequency. So sauce it up, just add some yummy-liciousness to your being. And even if you don't, just know, as long as you're in that pure state of being, you will be being love. This is the time to truly honor the wholeness, the fullness, and the whole and completeness of being human. Veils had already thinned. They are now starting to lift, so it's like truth is being revealed. That's all I'm going to say about that. It's just that, we don't need to engage in any dialogue of judgment or evaluation. Come home to you. Turn your, spotlight on you, because the divine has done that. You already are illuminated. You turn your spotlight on you. And if anything outside happens that does not feel good, feels out of sorts, turn the spotlight on you. Doesn't mean you find what's out of sorts within you. You find the illumination within you that will bring light into this space. And if you're feeling that you're having to work hard, release, exhale. Remember, this is the time to operate in a full spectrum way. No one aspect of you requires more attention than the other. Physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, social, environmental, all go together at this time. And if you read my message, I mean, like literally, it was coming through and I was typing it. Prerna asked me a question, any message about Lionsgate, and I just typed it. So, there are many nuances and layers to it. So you read it as me sharing it with you. Read it as, what does this mean for me? What insights are hidden here that I am to see? I haven't shared it publicly. It's only gone really to my Beyond Meditation family and the people that are part of my business collective and the Miracle Journeyers. That's it. It's just gone to that inner circle. And what that means is there is an enlightened frequency that this message carries, which is quite high. And I know there are several here who I call as the Syrian sisters from another constellation. There are many, many actions that arise that we will receive in a way that we can act upon. I was excited about the fact that, those of us who are in complete flow will actually receive solutions from, all these other planetary beings for anything and everything that our planet requires. Requires to correct itself, requires to, put in place, requires to replace what exists. And also solutions that enhance and enrich that which continues to serve our planet. It's quite a special time. And remember, it's coming, right now. The divine plan hasn't waited till 2022 to bring this on. It's coming now, so that some of us will receive it. We'll all benefit from it. And we can utilize the slipstream from the 21st September to the 9th October to get it moving forward so that it reaches a whole new vantage where it is beyond the point of reversing back. The other thing to remember is this is also a time where, because there's so much stuff that is moving out with the level of illumination that is there on the path of the Earth's evolutionary journey, it may be that sometimes your field might actually come into contact with a larger contingent of low vibe energies that are just passing through. So to have patience, and just see if it passes through. It may feel physically uncomfortable. And you will know, even though the symptoms may feel like usual diseases, when you just pause and observe a little, you only need to observe a little, you'll find there are too many discrepancies in terms of, you'll be feeling one way and then it'll go, and then you'll be feeling another way and it'll go. So you know that it isn't a physical condition. It is just one of these passing things that feels a little heavy right now, and the lightness is going to return. We are working with, some of these habitual perpetrations of actions that have kept humans at a very low vibe, in a way that they are able to be commanded and controlled. And we work with abuse. The work isn't over yet, but we made a very big, progress, move forward in that. I'm giving it space to autocorrect and recalibrate by itself, and then we will know what remains to be done. We are actually going to have a nugget of wisdom coming up at some point, which is going to be all about ego. So I'm going to actually, deflect addressing that right now to when I'm guided to bring that nugget of wisdom on one of our Thursday evening, Friday morning sessions. But today's session, and it's not a but, it's an and, today's session is really about anchoring where we have gotten to, having crossed the Lions Gate of 2021. It was always meant to be a really big one, and it was. And as we anchor ourselves to where we have gotten, we invoke that very high frequency of lightness of being. Lightness of being is a little bit like coffee, You can have the highest quality of coffee and it tastes completely different, has got a different price point, and the molecular structure is different and stuff. Or water even. You can have a very high quality water and it tastes and feels different and it is completely invigorating. And nonetheless, it's actually very, it's hydrating. It's essential for us. Even if you don't have that super high quality water. Lightness of being is like that, it's great. We feel good in it. And we are accentuating the quality of that lightness of being so that we develop a cellular memory of what that feels like. And we will then apply the human vibe attunement to it. So get yourself comfortable. Your feet are on the floor. If you have to, for medical reasons, lie down or sit in another way, you go ahead and be comfortable. Drop your hands on either side of you. Your palms are facing forward. Your fingers are lightly stretched. Your feet are completely parallel to one another. And they are at the same line as your shoulders. Feel the base of your spine connecting to the core of the earth, the middle of your feet connecting to the core of the earth, the tips of your fingers connecting to the core of the earth. Push your feet down a little bit more. Find yourself moving back and stretching up by itself. It'll happen by itself. Imagine that the back of your crown is being pulled up a little. Now take your hands and put them on top of your thighs. Touch your forefinger to the tip of your forefinger to the tip of your thumb. And have the other three fingers stretched, straight, stretch straight, so it feels like a stretch. This applies a very unique pressure to your arm. Imagine that the angle of your elbows is also connected to the core of the earth by two large tubes. And these are ducts. These are ducts that are drawing in wonderful healing energy from the core of the earth and bringing it into your entire body. You connect to the cords. The cords have now switched on. They're operating like a vacuum suction pump. And they're taking out of your field any energies that no longer serve. And as they're doing that, taking out of your body energies that no longer serve, you may feel a surge of emotion. You may also feel a strong movement of energy that you may not realize is energy, but it'll show up in the form of wanting to yawn or wanting to move. If that occurs, yawn or move or do both, whatever feels right. You may also feel some heaviness in your eyelids. If that happens, just move your knees closer together. There's nothing wrong with the heaviness in the eyelids. I just don't want you to sleep. Going into a trance is a different experience. Let's put your knees closer together. Now you notice your breath as you're breathing in and you're breathing out. Put your attention just underneath the nostrils. Notice the crackling in your ears. For yawns coming up, allow yourself to yawn. It's a massive movement of energy. I talked about the lightness of being. The lightness of being and the volume being turned up on that lightness of being, it being accentuated even more. Feel the feel of your body. Feel its buoyancy, feel its vibrancy. Experience the lightness in its being. Notice your breath going inside your body. And this time I want you to notice the breath going up, and it's going up all the way to your third eye, through your third eye, into your crown, the back of your crown, and going down the center of your spine. And when you breathe out, is you're breathing out through the complete tip of the spine, the tip of your tailbone. And as this is happening, the cords that are connected to the core of the earth are taking out of your field even the finer, you know, dust, if you like, of those energies that no longer serve you. Any clogging or any, you know, any debris that may be gathered anywhere that has been shaken up because of your high vibration is literally being taken out of your body and your field into the core of the earth. Simply allow for it to be released this way. You're now feeling very, very clear. You're going to do the 946 breath. And as you are doing the 946 breath, the anchoring is going to occur. The anchoring in this state across the lion's gate. And that invokes this higher level of lightness of being, which brings with it your unique illumination, all lit up and sparkling bright. This in turn shines your light and touches those that require it the most. And it does so automatically because we have held that intention. And with every breath we take, we really are sharing the blessing of us and the blessings through us on humans and humanity. Breathe into the count of 9, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold 2, 3, 4. Breathe out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold 2, 3, 4. Breathe out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold 2, 3, 4. Breathe out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Take a deep breath in all the way until the tip of your tailbone and breathe out, sending that breath out into the core of the earth. You can just move your feet back underneath the chair and just rest your feet on your toes. Your heels are lifted up. We're just creating a portal-like opening there. And it's a two-way opening. Releases from your system that which no longer serves, at the same time filling your system up with this beautiful blessing of healing from the core of the earth. And other elements that are appropriate to you will also use the same pathway. Let's amplify. Repeat after me. You can stretch your legs in front of you if you like, or just be where you are. I acknowledge myself as a human. I receive myself as a human. I accept myself as a human. I acknowledge myself as a human. I receive myself as a human. I accept myself as a human. I acknowledge myself as a human. I receive myself as a human. I anchor the human within humanity. I anchor the human within humanity. I anchor the human within humanity. I acknowledge myself as a human. I receive myself as a human. I accept myself as a human. I anchor the human within humanity. Take your hands in front of your heart, rub them against each other. Put them over your eyes, open your eyes in them, take them on top of your head, the back of your neck, down your shoulders. Do an energy sweep and blow. With this lightness of being, I would love for you to anchor the words that accentuate lightness of being and make that gift available to all as we are emerging into the post-COVID world. Joy with rainbow colors. Yes. Plume. Okay, beautiful. Ease, joy, grace, and miracles. Grounded and connected. Thank you so much. Wholeness. Beautiful. Radiant and abundant. Radiant and abundance. Romance, joyfulness, illumination, feeling divine. Beautiful. Thank you. Surface of energy. Yummylicious. Yes. Empowered. Flying high with the lightness of being. Thank you. Thank you, Connie. Thank you, Anchor 2. Crystalline, expansion, acceptance, beautiful harmony, peace and gratitude, serene. Thank you all. I will see you on Thursday. Thank you. Brilliant possibilities of love and peace, blessings of us through us, and showered upon all humanity, gracefully received by everyone. Thank you. Syrian indigo infused, anchored lightness of being. Yay! Yes, Janice, that's beautiful. Thank you all.